I'm Troy Kirby with MLT News with a quick look at the 2021 Washington State Legislative Session. For 2 days, House lawmakers debated Engrossed Substitute Senate Bill 5096, which would create a capital gains tax on those selling stocks, bonds, and would apply to the sale of businesses. The bill passed the Senate on March 6th by a vote of 25-24. It passed the House 52-46 on April 21st. The bill will now go into a matter of concurrence between the House and the Senate on amendments, and if passed, will head to the governor's office to potentially be signed into law. This legislation is controversial, as it has failed by referendum 10 times and is illegal by the state's constitution, and will likely wind up as a state Supreme Court matter prior to implementation.
Madam Speaker, today we are going to take another gigantic step towards justice for the working people of Washington State by finally asking the wealthiest among us to pay their fair share. And we will do that, Madam Speaker, with the passage of this capital gains excise tax on the extraordinary profits from stocks, bonds, and other capital assets.
The empty promise of this bill is that the money collected is for childcare and early learning. Yet the majority rejected an amendment that dedicated the funds to an account established for this very purpose that literally sits empty in the current budget.
I'm voting yes because not a single piece of real estate in the state will be affected by this tax. Not a single middle-class family will be affected by this tax.
In our free enterprise, free market society, people invest in the stock market. Companies take those investments and they grow their businesses, and then they, through the growth and prosperity of those businesses, they hire and employ many people and provide many more family wage jobs. And then people create prosperity through the sale of those stocks when those businesses grow and prosper, so everybody wins. Madam Speaker, people and stock markets all around this world watch our U.S. stock market because we're the richest, most wealthy, most prosperous nation in the world. And when our stock market works well, the whole world works well. So it's very important that our stock market continue to grow and prosper.
Yet during the pandemic, the wealthiest in our state got even wealthier. They earned an extra $151 billion. That's almost 3 times the amount of our entire state operating budget.
This proposal is not just about raising revenue, Speaker, but about how we raise that money and from whom we raise it and how we spend it. Washington tax code is the most upside down in the nation, dead last, number 50.
And the amount of policy that we have put forth that is going to do just exactly the opposite in its regressivity. Whether talking about some of our climate policies and the effects that they will have on our rural economies and the people throughout our entirety of our state. We're contemplating gas taxes. Madam Speaker, I appreciate the work that the gentlelady from the 36 has done in this space. And I agree with her in so many ways. And I know that there are ongoing discussions about how we can truly reform our tax code in the state of Washington. But Madam Speaker, adding a new tax is not reforming our tax code.
We've heard comments about whether the level of service for K-12 education or childcare is enough, but that's not the question, Madam Speaker. The question is whether a constituent in my district who's working 2 or 3 jobs at minimum wage should pay more as a share of their income than somebody who is making millions of dollars.
And there are other reasons to vote no, Madam Speaker. As you know, Article 7 of our state's constitution is the part that talks about taxes in the state of Washington. And right at the start of Article 7, right at the beginning of Section 1, the Constitution says that all taxes shall be uniform upon the same class of property.
In the discussion last night, there was a lot of talk about transparency. To all that rhetoric, let me bring a measure of reality. You can't have transparency without vision. This legislation, this vision, is inclusive and beneficial to a great many, not just the lucky few.
And the facts are, the governor's own budget this year has a 9% capital gains income tax on people earning $25,000. $50,000 if you file jointly. Madam Speaker, that's the facts if this policy passes, that the governor wants to bring it down to $25,000 and 9%. Number two, the good lady spoke yesterday on facts. She said, why are we going to have something as important as childcare based on the voters? Yet Washington State's education system is based on levies and bonds of the voters. Madam Speaker, if this policy passes, the voters can't vote on it, and the governor in his own budget wants 9% at $25,000. Now, Madam Speaker, we need childcare, and yet we have not set any parameters or goals, any facts.
Whether by accident or intent, our current tax structure reinforces structural advantages for wealthy white people and in turn disadvantages everyone else.
So we've helped out the bottom 420,000 and we've taxed the highest 0.5%. But what about the 7 million Washingtonians in the middle? If the tax code is unfair and upside down for them today, and their taxes are neither going up nor down tomorrow, how have we helped them?
Thank you for watching the Daily Legislative Report by MLT News, covering the 2021 legislative session.